port is one of the simplest things in the world. It's an awful lot easier than decanting say a fine Bordeaux or Burgundy.
And what do we have here, Tim?
We've got Graham's 1980, one of the greatest drinking vintages for now that you could possibly have. 28 years old, I think we'll find that it still looks pretty youthful. But the actual process of decanting, vintage port throws a great, wonderful, humongous, heavy sediment or crust. And that crust, after the bottle has been stood upright for a few hours, falls to the bottom and is very easy to deal with thereafter.
So how long has this bottle been stood upright? Ah, what do we have here?
We have a problem.
Well, it's I mean,
so often with an old cork, this cork has been in the bottle for 26 years. This bottle was this was bottled in 1982, so this is a 26-year-old cork. And with the older port bottles, the neck is shaped a bit like that, not straight. The new vintage port bottles, it's totally vertical. So what happens with older vintage port bottles is the cork expands, and you end up with what we call a two-part cork, which is a real bore.
Let's just hold the cork up there. Let's have a look at that.
Okay. So it's expanded at the bottom, and half of it is broken off in that. Well, what the heck do you do? You use a Sketchly Special, which has taken years of research.
What is a Sketchly Special?
All you need is a wire coat hanger, make it into a hook like this, and then down you go into the port, and
nothing happens.
No, more mint. And, hey presto, it gets the cork out. And it will
There is
also
the
get,
offending little piece of cork.
yeah, but it will also get, and there's another bit, and if the whole cork goes in, which occasionally can happen with a lousy corkscrew, which there are too many these days, it will get the whole cork out. Then you just go ahead with the decanting process. If you can get some butter muslin, that's great, but it's quite hard to find. I've discovered these wonderful things in M&S. They're called pop socks. And this completely stops any fine sediment that there may be. And then you just simply pour away. And there's so much rubbish talked about decanting. You've got to stand the bottle up for heaven knows how long. You've got to use coffee filters, candles, point the bottle in the direction of a porter and say a few prayers. Absolute rubbish. It's a doddle to decant port. So the pop sock has caught a few extra little bits, and then you just take her over here and have a look. You've got 26 years worth of wonderful, look at that. This is the matter that makes vintage port great. Look at that deposit. It's wonderful in gravy. Bill Waugh always says it's delicious spread on toast. I've never had the courage to do that.
And what's it actually made of?
Well, that vintage port is bottled completely unfiltered, and this is just the natural crust and deposit that it throws. So now I've emptied out the sludge, rinsed the bottle with water, but there's so much rubbish in water these days, I always rinse either the decanter or the bottle with a little bit of good old Graham's LBV. Can you, sorry, just for a moment. With a bit of LBV. So,
That's fine, go ahead.
so having rinsed it with LBV, then just get the funnel, back in, pour away. There's not one jot of sediment there, not a bit. It's clear as a bell. So a terribly easy exercise. Get rid of the rinsed LBV. Let's see how the wine's showing.
And have a look at the wine.
For a 1980, Fantastic colour.
It's a
Browning
gorgeous.
ever so slightly, but still good deep garnet heart to it.
And the taste?
Well, the nose is wonderful. It's like eucalyptus. It's fresh, it's spicy. It's too good to spit out.